Tip Clips Part 2.
A great one. Keep one in your pocket and on a little piece of paper. So as you're walking around your yard, you're not going to remember everything that you want to do when you get back to the house, but if you've got it written down, oh, I wanted to go out and prune such and such yesterday, or I need to go do this, that, and the other thing. So keep this for making notes, and you can use the pencil just for making little holes when you maybe plant seed. You're trying to irrigate those things. I use black plastic piping, but you can do exactly the same thing, and this is what we did at my dad's house. We got PVC, put a cap on one end, sealed it, and the other end, there's a plastic fixture you can put on there that's threaded, and at a hardware store, you can buy a hose connector. So that lays at the base of his beans with the hose on it. And through the little tiny holes that we have drilled about every 6 inches in there, it's probably like a 1/32 hole, really small. Blast right straight down. It's not spraying around, so for evaporation, you're not going to lose much soil, but give it a half hour of water every couple days. They'll be perfectly happy. They will drill little holes there, but that's okay. You don't have to turn that water on full blast, but give it a nice drink and walk on your soil. Start a compost pile if you don't have one. There's a few years ago for butternut squash. I came out from a low building. It was only about 8 feet high in front, and it tapered off to the back. I came out about 5 feet, put a couple tall T-posts in, and I had some sections of cattle panel. It's like 1/4-inch wire that's welded together in a big hex pattern. So you have maybe 6-inch squares in it. All right, so that went against my uprights. Then I laid another one from the top of the uprights over and wired these here. And in the bottom, I planted my butternut squash. So what I had was about a foot designated for those squash, and it was 12 feet long, and anything that started going out this way, I kind of helped back up and wove through the cattle panel. And once they figured out what they were supposed to do, they just kept going up and over and started down the other side. And at the end of the season, in that 12 square feet I had devoted to butternut squash, I had 50 of the squash. It goes on there, and each of you grab a corner of the tarp and just kind of walk it back and forth. And lay it down again, and that kind of rolls your materials, and you're going to mix them a little bit, and then, maybe roll the other way, but get those things mixed. And then be careful of fresh manure. It's going to be too hot, which means there's usually too much nitrogen for it, and it could literally destroy the roots down there, called burning. Get some old chicken manure. That'll be good for lettuce, because anything that's leafy, spinach, they like that. You plant what you're going to eat. Tomato seeds. We're saving tomato seeds. All right, let's say you've got a Cherokee Purple, which is a standard variety, non-hybrid. Take that one of those tomatoes in the late fall and kind of squish it up, get the skin off of it, and then just kind of put it in a container. Maybe a little water, slosh it around, get plenty of the juice with it and everything. And you've got to let it ferment, because each one of those little seeds has that little gel coating on it to keep it from sprouting in the tomato. So you've got to let it ferment, and the acid that results eats through that. Then after, say, 3 or 4 days, and it smells bad, then you take it up, put a little water on it, put it in a strainer over a piece of screen, and gently, maybe rub it, but run some water over it. Then you've got seeds without the gel coating. Tap that out into a coffee filter or a piece of paper toweling, spread them out so they can dry. And once those are dry, you can save that non-hybrid seed till next year. And just plant them along with your hybrid varieties, like a big boy or early girl. Okay, there's that. And then, in order to keep all this stuff straight, what variety is what, these are what I use. Go to a thrift store, buy one of these old things for $1 or whatever it is, and you can put a couple of them together, just snip them off. And as they age a little bit, you get the ones that are aged. They're a little rougher. And don't believe the part about the permanent marker. They're not. They fade in the sun. So just use a good old pencil and write on there, so you know what kind it is. Okay, I talked earlier about all these lettuces you're going to grow. Now, I got this at Farm and Fleet, and there's that little window in there. You can see all those lettuce seeds in there, the little brown ones. Well, there's literally hundreds of them in there, and these were packed in 2012. And no, there's no way. I mean, every one of us could take home, a bunch of these tomato or lettuce seeds and grow lettuce this year, and I'd still have enough left over. So get some, share them among yourselves, and then when you're done with them, get a nice tight container. I love peanut butter jars. Get them closed up, stick them in the back of the refrigerator. Save them from year to year. You don't have to go out and spend $1.79 or whatever it happens to be for a packet of seeds, of lettuce seeds. There's hundreds. It's called interplanting. There's something else called companion planting, whereby there are certain plants that are beneficial to each other. They coexist better than alone. Well, let's say I'm going to put a pepper plant in here, or a cabbage. They kind of tend to spread out. Well, it's going to take a while for that cabbage to grow. So while that's maturing, around that, I can put in some lettuce seedlings. And you know how quickly radishes grow. While all that stuff's growing, I can plant radishes, and they're gone by the time those lettuce are up, and the tomato and the cabbage is getting big. So you've harvested these. A little bit later, you've harvested these, and you're left with your cabbage. So interplant, use that space. If there's still plenty of room in there after you pull these out, put some more radish seeds in there. You can really utilize your space. You don't have to get big.
We hope this presentation helps you fulfill all your gardening needs. Happy gardening.